What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Joel Culpepper Outdoors. I'm Joel Culpepper, and before we get into our talk about stabilizers, I do want to mention something and get your guys' opinion. So we all know the UV 1K arrows. Everyone hates them or loves them for whatever reason. I've made a video expressing my sentiments about those arrows, and so I'm not going to touch on that again, but Chris B just dropped a video, and that's actually why I'm re-recording this. I already had this video ready to go, and then I saw Chris B's video, and I said, I've got to comment on that before I put this video up, or in this video. So, anyways, watching the video that Chris B put up, he's in Australia hunting Cape buffalo with his Mathews Lift, 80 pounds, 29 and a half, or 28 and a half inch draw, excuse me. And he's using the new UV 1K arrows and a G5 Montec, which is a fixed blade broadhead. I believe he was shooting a 300 spine. He might have been shooting a 250, but I think it was a 300. I can't remember if he said it in his video or not. Anyways, he wound up shooting two water buffaloes. One of them did perish. The other one they did not find. And watching that video, I just, personally, I felt disgusted by the video. I did not appreciate the light that this kind of puts us bow hunters into. And now I've never shot a Cape buffalo, or a water buffalo, or a Cape buffalo. I probably never will. I don't care for that. That's not my thing. I don't hold anything against anyone that wants to do it though. If you want to do it, go ahead, go for it. I fully support you. I just don't want to do it myself. It's not that exciting to me. So, the first buffalo he shot that they did not recover was a quartering to frontal shot. He was very hard quartering to, and where the arrow struck, it seemed to hit seemed to catch the rib cage, or I think it would have been the rib cage just based on placement, but he did not get that much penetration. That water buffalo run off. They couldn't find it. And when I saw him, I remember when they cut to the video of the water buffalo quartering towards them super hard, almost a full frontal, I thought, please do not take this shot. Please do not take this shot. And then I heard the bow drawing back, and I thought, there is no way that the guy is going to let him take this shot. That this should not be the case. And then I see the arrow flying through the air, and immediately I see the arrow. I think, they just wounded that animal. It's going to go suffer. And what happened? The animal ran off and suffered. They didn't find it. And it really infuriated me. Like I said, I don't have anything against anyone that wants to hunt these animals, but go prepared. Don't take foolish shots. There is a time and place maybe to take a full frontal, but not a quartering frontal like that. He had a very small window to catch the lungs, or maybe the heart, but probably just lungs with that shot. And there is no need to take that kind of shot. There really wasn't. And I really felt disgusted by that, because I thought of all the people that don't hunt or are opposed to hunting that are going to watch that video and now use that to point at bow hunters and say, well, you guys take unethical shots. This water buffalo just ran off and died. And completely, in my opinion, it really hurt the hunting community in general, him taking that shot. Now, the second one that he shot, he wound up actually shooting 3 times, and all 3 arrows buried up to the fletchings in the lungs. From what I could tell, it would be a lung shot. And I just found myself thinking, why? And of course I know the reason why. He has to use these UV 1K arrows because UltraView is his sponsor. He's got to use their new arrows because they're cool, and he's got to take them on this really cool water buffalo hunt, and it's going to show everybody how great these arrows are. But I think it really did the opposite. I think it showed that even though Chris B is a phenomenal archer, even he can't take a frontal shot on a Cape or a water buffalo. I'm sorry, I keep saying Cape buffalo, but even he cannot do it. And the one that they do wind up taking, 3 shots. Three shots. I know they're big animals. I get it. That's why you don't take a sub 500 grain arrow on that hunt. Now, if I was going on that same hunt, of course, I've got a little bit longer draw length, but I would be shooting 75, 80 pounds. If I was shooting the bows I have now, it would be 75. If I was getting a new one, it would definitely be 80 pounds. Possibly even take it up above 80 pounds a little bit. But anyways, I would be shooting a 250 spine, something like an Easton FMJ dangerous game that's going to get me up 600 to 700 grains with a single bevel, like an iron wheel. Just because these are big animals with big bones and thick hides, and you need to penetrate through the hide and through all the flesh and the tissues and everything like that, which is why I was really disgusted with what Chris B actually did. And I'm not trying to throw shots at Chris B. I'm really not. There's a lot of other things that I could say right now that I don't feel are appropriate, but let me know your guys' opinion. If you were going on that hunt, would you want the UV1K in your quiver, or would you want something more like the Easton FMJ that's going to get you, 500, at least 500, 550 grains, if not more? Like I said, I would take probably around a 650 grain arrow if I was doing the same thing. I probably never will do that. I don't plan to. It's not, like I said, it's not interesting to me to go shoot a water buffalo. I don't care about it. But let me know your guys' opinion, what you think about the hunt, if you watched it. Do you agree with me? Do you think that he made the right call taking those arrows and shooting those broadheads and whatnot? But anyways, I know that was a little lengthy. I did not intend it to be so, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything in there before we moved on to the main topic of today's video, which is stabilizers on your hunting bow. So let's go ahead and let's clear our mind from Chris B and his, in my opinion, less than ethical shots, and go to hunting stabilizers. So hunting season is right around the corner. I know here in Georgia, it opens up in about 3 weeks, and I don't know where it is opening up where you're at, but I hope you've been getting your reps in and you're ready to go. I know I am. I'm really excited. And so we've got 2 different bows that we're going to hunt with this year. One of them, of course, we all know the Mathews V3, but we've also got a V3X 29. And this one has a front bar, no back bar. Just got like some of this rough tape on here. And we've got the little, I don't even really know what you call these, little limb dampeners, I suppose. And the only reason I have these on here is to add a little bit more weight because I don't have a back bar. So running the B3 Exact Hunter on this as well. I am going to have a quiver put on this in the next couple weeks. I just have not got it yet. It is going to be a really nice quiver. It's going to help add weight to the bow, make it a little bit more steady. So this is what I would call my up close and personal bow. I want to try to get a saddle this year and hunt out of a saddle a little bit. And this will be my saddle bow. This will hopefully be 20 yards, 30 yards and in on every shot that I have to take with this bow, at least how it's set up currently. Maybe eventually I could put a back bar on here, I don't know, but the plan is to keep this bow as compact as possible, which is why we're running the Bridgelock sight, the integrated rest, and we're going to have a super low profile quiver on here, and that's because this is going to be the thick woods, running and gunning, climbing up trees type of bow. This is not going to be for shooting. Like if I was going to go on an elk hunt or an antelope hunt, this would not be the bow I'd take. Not because it can't do it, but because it's not set up to take longer shots. So this bow is at 75 pounds. I might pull it down to 70. I'm not sure. Not because I have difficulty drawing it on the ground, but I might run into some issues later in the year when I'm hunting from a saddle if I have to draw from a weird angle. I don't think that'll be the case. I draw 75 very, very well. I've never had any issues from it. So maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But anyways, up close and personal, just the front bar. I could actually swap this from an 8-inch to a 6-inch front bar, but I like a little bit longer of a stabilizer. If I'm only going to have a front bar, I would like it to be a little bit longer than 6 inches, just to help get the weight a little higher and hopefully stabilize the bow just a little bit more. So, of course, we all know and we all love the Mathews V331. Here we've got a 10-inch front and a 6-inch back bar. And I actually took weight off of this back bar. So I've got 3 ounces on the front and 3 ounces on the back, but I really pulled this bar out. And the reason I did that was I wanted to get the weight down, but still have it balanced well. And this seems to do it. Seems to balance pretty well like this. And this would be the bow I would take if I was going to sit on a like the edge of a field or on a in a some type of area where I'm going to be shooting possibly past 30 yards. I'd say if it's 30 and in, the V3X29 is just fine. It's not going to have any problems. But if we're going to get out past that to 40, maybe 50 yards, this would be my pick. Of course, the quiver on this does not fit super tight. It's not real far out, but it's not the tightest. You could definitely run a regular rest. Of course, this is before bridge lock, so we don't have a bridge lock sight on here. Just a standard bolt on. We do have the integrated rest, but you wouldn't have to run that with this quiver. But we got the front bar, we got the back bar set up to take a little bit longer of a shot and still be fairly stable without having to go to target bow or target stabilizer lengths. I know I have a bow that I'm kind of playing with right now for target, and currently I don't have what I want on there, but I've got a 15-inch front and a 12-inch back on it. It's probably going to go to more like a 30-inch front and probably keep the 12-inch back, honestly, because once you get more, I think really 12 is a long back bar to have. So, but probably a 30, somewhere between a 27 33-inch front bar and a 12-inch back on that. And I don't want to have the same type of setup on my hunting bows, just because that's a little much for where I'm hunting. 15-inch front bar is a pretty long front bar, which I discovered when I started playing around with the target stuff and I started running a 15-inch front. A 15-inch front would be a nightmare for hunting in South Georgia, or at least hunting the way that I hunt. Just be a pain in the neck to have to get that around in the woods. But this seems to be set up fine. And good thing about this bow, it's a 31-inch bow, so it is a little bit more stable of a platform than the 29 already. But it's also not so big that I can't saddle hunt with this bow. So we all know things happen. Maybe I'm out hunting in the woods with my V3X29 and I'll look at my string, and my string is completely torn up from walking through briars and thorns and scraping on everything. And I realize I need to replace my string, but I've got a hunt coming up in a day or two, and I really need my bow to be ready to go. So I can grab this bow and immediately go to the woods and have 100% confidence in what I'm doing. And that's why I like the idea of having two bows, just because things always happen. I had one bow last year, and I wished I had two because something did happen and left me completely unable to hunt. So I wound up just going and purchasing another bow, and I was not very happy about it because I was not expecting the expense. So something for you guys to think about. Let me know in the comments if you've got two bows, a primary and a backup, or if you have two set up for two different things, for hunting. And I would recommend to anybody that's going to bow hunt. Let's say you buy a lift this year, or you have a lift, you bought one already. Go find a used Phase 4 or used V3X and keep that as your backup. Maybe you're looking to buy a new bow and you're thinking about trading in the one that you already have, and that's the only one you currently own. Try to think about keeping your old bow and then just getting a new one on top of it, so then you can have two bows in case something happens. I have two trucks, and there have been times actually right before I got my second truck. My first one needed some repairs pretty bad. Not that I did anything wrong, it wasn't anything mechanical. But I wound up needing to have another truck, and thankfully insurance covered that, and I wound up getting my second truck before I got my original truck back. Still had the insurance, the truck, the insurance was letting me drive. But I like the rule of twos for things, just because something can happen, will happen. I think I call that Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong, generally at the worst possible time, and I find that true. So try to get a backup bow if you don't have one, and if you're going to get a new bow, think about keeping your old one as a backup. It's not going to cost you any more money to keep a bow, unless you're counting the trade-in value of it, which, generally speaking, you're going to get a lot less on your trade-in than the bow is worth. So that being said, just something to think about. And anyways, so let me know, are you guys running front and back bars this year on your hunting rigs? You just running a front bar, or are you doing what I'm doing? You have two bows, one with a front and back, and the other with just a front bar. And let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on the whole Chris B situation with the water buffalo. And hopefully, with deer season coming up, everybody will be really excited to get in the stand. I hope everyone gets out there and has an absolutely incredible year. Hope you have the best year of hunting you've ever had. And if this is your first year, I really hope that you have a great year, because we need more people in the sport. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay in the outdoors. God bless you, and I'll catch you on the next one.